Nothing happens until Bernie White gives the instruction.
Like to shake hands, gentlemen. Wish you good luck, good bowling. USA to bowl first.
So it's underway. Tim Mack has a little grimace as he comes up. Real contrast in styles you'll see between these two. Mack is all arms and legs and power. Leanderssen smoothly glides to the point of attack. Tim's in no hurry here.
Just stretching himself, getting loose, checking the approach, make sure there's no dust on it. Get himself mentally locked into his match.
Well, that's the worst possible start. The only good thing is that it's happened really early in the match.
Nick, that's a split that we've seen before in this tournament, the 2 and the 10. It's left when the ball goes just that little bit too long. It has plenty of rotation, but it only just touches that head pin. Leaving the 2 and the 10 there is a nasty spare to open with in frame 1. But it is makeable, and I'm sure Tim's going to chuck this at 100 mile an hour.
He chucks every ball at velocity. He doesn't get the bounce out this time, so he starts off with an open frame.
Yeah, he's not going to be too happy about that at all, because he knows Thomas, his old drinking and bowling partner, will jump on him straight away.
Well, you can see what he's trying to do here. Maximum velocity, try and get a bit of a bounce back. Didn't come off for him.
Yeah, it sometimes works. Most of the time it doesn't.
So an early opportunity for the tall Swede, Tomas Leanderssen, to just jump out early here. Let's see what he can do. Pocket hit, but he's left himself the bucket. I haven't seen too many of those in this Weber Cup this year. Yeah,
again, this ball has gone on just a little bit too long before it's turned into the pocket. It's made the head pin, but as you've said, Nick, it's the 2-4-5-8, which we call the bucket. It's a nasty little combination, and we'll need a good bit of accuracy to spare this one.
He does, spot on. So not quite what Leanderssen was looking for. He'll have wanted to strike after Mack left an open frame, but nevertheless he dug himself out of a little hole to safely spare.
Yes, he'll have to be quite happy with that one. He's got the lead after Tim opened up, and Tim's now going to try and gather himself mentally for frame 2.
And well, a ball change.
Yeah, a conscious decision there. He's gone straight for another ball.
Well, the lane conditions have been changing throughout the course of this Weber Cup, and I wonder if Tim feels not only a bit of adjustment is needed at the point of attack, but also a new ball as well. Let's look at the result.
That's a lot better. Yes, that was a good ball change, but you will notice that he also changed his line. He was a lot straighter with that shot, quite deep inside his mark, and shot straight at the pocket rather than sort of coast to coast, as we say. Much straighter shot. We've got the great result.
So the first strike of the match goes to the American captain. Here's the European captain trying to match him. The pocket, but doesn't get rid of the 7.
Yes, similarly, this is a bit of a straighter shot. It's hit the pocket beautifully, and unfortunately that 7 pin has stood up.
And well, he's happy now anyway.
He could be happier if he spares this one, which he has done quite easily. 2 spares in a row for the Team Europe captain. Up jumps Tim Mack straight out of his chair. He's not hanging around now. He took a gamble on that last shot, changed his line, changed his ball, and it paid off for him. It worked out, so he's going to be quite confident of doing exactly the same thing again now.
Yes, exactly. He's kept the same ball. You can be absolutely certain he will look to keep the same line as well. got away with it, didn't he?
Don't really know what to say about that because, yeah, he's slightly embarrassed. That was a pretty awful shot. It crossed the left-hand side of the headpin. So he was trying to play a lot straighter in the middle of the lane. And it actually took off and crossed over to the left-hand side of the headpin, but still took the strike out, and it was a double. So he's got some pins back on Tomas Leanderssen in a rather fortuitous way.
Yes, very much so, as the machinery does its work.
Can't see the pin boy down there feeding those pins in.
No, they pensioned him off. Leanderssen looking for a strike. Yet to have one in this match. Needs one soon to get it there.
Yeah, Nick, now both these players have actually changed line. I think Tomas has actually copied Tim. They started off throwing the ball really wide to the right-hand side, but both have tightened up. And you see Thomas's ball there, that's also ridden high up on the headpin. They've cut down the angle of entry into the pocket, and at the moment are just struggling a little bit.
Spare out, didn't he? Not by much.
Yeah, very. Just tickled it with a feather. It's a very light hit, but it counts, and it's 3 spares in a row for Tomas Leanderssen. Tim Mack working on 2 strikes.
And a bit of a furrowed brow there for the European skipper.
Well, if the ball doesn't go where you want it to go, and you don't get the right reaction, you have to come back and think about the next shot and what adjustments you may make.
Well, the adjustment that Mack made after that first frame was emphatic. Nothing wrong with that strike, whatever. The last one might have been a little bit fortuitous. That was just an almost perfect ball.
Yes, he'll be happy about that one. This was a classic shot. He'll really like this. Right in the 1-3 pocket. He's given it the room, and there it goes. And of course, the body language tells people in the audience that he was very pleased with that. So now pressure back on Tomas. Quite a difference in these 2 bowlers. Tim obviously is the power bowler, and Tomas more the stroker, shall we say. It's a lot softer shot. Again, he's inside his mark. He needs, if he's going to play that line, he needs to throw his ball a bit faster. So he's just looking on the approach as to was I standing in the right place or not. It's inside his mark. He's got some nice rotation on the ball, but he's just playing in the wrong area, and it's high through the head pin and leaves a 3 pin on its own.
Well, it should be a routine spares, but the way Mack is bowling, spares are not going to get this job done for Tomas Leanderssen, who falls just a little bit further behind.
Yeah, and Tim is straight out of his seat again. He wants to get on with this game because he knows Tomas is struggling. He's striking at will now. He's made 3 in a row, and the quicker he can get his shot up and over with will bring Tomas back up again quickly. It's called fast bowling your opponent, a tactical manoeuvre.
Yes, he's bowling fast, but he's not rushing. He's only bowling when he's ready. Keeping that same line again. This time doesn't quite produce the strike.
Yeah, a little bit high through the head pin. Broke them up and didn't leave a split. He's got the 6 and the 10 there. Yeah, just didn't quite carry the. Didn't get the length on the ball. Should be a straightforward spare, and is.
It is, but a strike here for Tomas could just get him back to almost within touching distance.
Yeah, there'll be an 11 pin deficit if Tomas can strike here. Tim's just making some signs to his fans in the crowd.
Well, can he find a strike? 4 spares in a row for the Swede.
Yeah, is it time to make an adjustment? If you haven't struck for 4 frames, you really need to do something now to get back on a line.
Oh, that's better, much better.
Yeah, he's taken the gamble, he's hit him thin and made him spin. Wasn't quite in the pocket, it was a light hit on the head pin, but he's mixed them around, and the cascading effect of those pins has given him 10.
So he's just about within touching distance now, Tomas Leanderssen, but it's Team USA and their skipper Tim Mack with his nose in front. Just shows the value, I guess, Cass, of just getting those strikes bunched together. 3 in a row for Mack after that open frame has put him in the lead here, but not by an awful lot. Play for here, and 7 and the 10 went down a little bit lazy.
Yeah, it's a little bit higher there, but made them fly. As you say, the 7 and 10 were lazy and went late, but that is another strike for the American captain. Yeah, soft shoe shuffle from...
He's been watching too many old John Travolta movies.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Nick.
I know he's not going to get the part in the remake.
Pressure back on Thomas. Working on a strike, will now need the double to stay in this match. You can see what happened there. Again, soft speed. He needs to increase his speed or change that line. It's not working for him at all. Tim was a little bit fortunate with his last strike, but Thomas is not getting any luck at all at the moment. Lane condition breaking down. The ball's breaking too early. And he's going to have to make himself a spare.
Safely done. He's having a real battle out there, Tomas Leanderssen. Mack now with a real chance to drive the knife in a little bit deeper.
Yeah, an 11-pin turnaround, and Tim working on a strike. And of course, having a reasonably lucky strike in the last frame, he now needs to get a really good one to make it into a double. And he knows that. Because a strike here could even lock the game up by frame 7 or 8. Come on, ball.
Yeah, he gets him again.
Well, again, hit him thin and make him spin. He realises he's quite fortunate with that shot. It was pretty close to the pocket, but whether it deserved a strike or not, I don't know.
Well, he's had 2 or 3 of these, Cass, hasn't he, in this match?
Yeah, he's sort of whistling in the wind a little bit and gets the reaction. Look at that body language. He's down on one knee. Fantastic.
Offering a prayer to the bowling gods and saying, yeah, atta boy.
Well, he's riding his luck, and he realises that Thomas is having none, so he's drawing away.
But how much of this is down to the difference in styles, that Thomas is quite sedate in his... That was just a shocker, it really was. Whereas Mack just puts so much into it and gets a bit more pin action down there.
Well, that's right. There is a difference between them. Thomas is the stroker of the two. Nice gliding follow-through. Tim is the cranker, or the boomer, as we call him. He really puts so much aggression into it, and unfortunately Thomas has got the 2-4 and the 10. I think he may have tried to change the shot, which I was suggesting. And he went outside and missed the head pin on the right-hand side and didn't get any reaction whatsoever.
Oh, yes.
Nice spare.
Terrific spare, just as we were getting the obituary pens out. As a sign of life for Tomas Leanderssen.
Well, it keeps him in the game, and the Europeans are hoping that he will stay in this one, but the way Tim's going...
He still needs a break. He still needs Mack to either get a bit of bad luck or to make a mistake.
Well, there we can see the difference. 257 if Tim can strike out, and Thomas on a maximum of 223. One more here will really wrap it up.
Looking good all the way down the lane.
Fantastic shot. Really was an absolutely great strike. Opened up the shot just a little bit further. He stood a bit more left on the approach with his feet and threw it just a little bit further to the right. And got the reaction he was looking for on the lane at about 45 feet. That ball just started to turn left and got the fabulous angle. There it is, right into the pocket. As pins stand a little chance.
Well, he gets a strike, but it's a bit late in the day to have only a second strike.
Yeah, Tim's hit 6 strikes out of 8 frames. And as you say, rightly say, Nick, Thomas has only had 2, and that's what the difference is. Stringing the strikes together makes the big difference on the count back and the bonus scores.
Is there any psychology to all this? Because it's gone according to that form book, this triangle of theirs, hasn't it? Mack couldn't beat Torgerson. Leanderssen can't beat Mack now. I mean, I wonder how much psychology plays in this.
I'm just wondering if they're actually they're running a gambling book on it amongst themselves. But Mack is certainly going to take this match. Yeah, hands on head. Great shot, Tim. Unfortunately, that 10 pin in the corners eluded him yet again. He's not going to worry about it, though. It was a great shot, and yeah, can't be helped. We'll take the spare away. .33 pin lead. And now where's Tim gone?
Thought he went over to have a word with Bernie White there, but just went back to his chair.
Yeah, Bernie could have lined him up on this spare shot. Bernie, former international player. Wallop.
That's what he did. Maybe he asked Bernie, hey Bernie, what line should I bowl here?
Sees the funny side of it.
Thomas is not seeing the funny side of anything at the moment.
No, he's going to be 50 pins adrift at the end of frame 9, and Thomas and Team USA are going to go through the 200 barrier. 2 turkeys there, 2 bunches of 3 in a row, and that's the way to get the strikes. And that's the way to break through the 200.
Well, Thomas is working a strike, but it's a bit like chucking a deck chair off the Titanic right now for Tomas Leanderssen. It's not going to make any difference.
And it's pretty much good night Vienna for Tomas Leanderssen and Team Europe. Another horrendous split. In fairness, I think he's moving around the lane a little bit, looking for some sort of reaction, and unfortunately he's not getting it, and only takes 2 out there.
Thomas will draw a veil over this match. This will not be getting too many repeat showings on the video.
No, he won't want to see this one. He knows the game's over now. He's just going to have to go through the routine of finishing off the 10th frame.
Just for the record, it's Tim can bowl them both down the gutter and still win here.
You're quite right, Nick, you can. He won't do that.
No.
And I don't know if you heard it, but Bill Hoffman was shouting something there as Tim bowled that ball. They've got some real banter go with one another there. I think Tim said if everything went there, that should have been a 270 game.
Oh, look at the speed on that ball. Whoop. That might have set a new land speed record here inside the Ponds Forge Arena.
He's playing with the audience now and playing with his friends and the rest of the Team USA team. And this really could have been a big game. It's going to be 225 with another strike here. Came over.
Oh yeah, and he finishes as he would want to as well. Rode his luck on 1 or 2 of those frames, but nevertheless a really impressive performance from the Team USA captain. Never gave Leanderssen a chance, and a finish of 225. Thomas just would like this to end now, wouldn't he?
He'd like to pick his ball up and go. Let's just go through the routine. He may take the spare and he may throw it wide.
Well, it could have been so different if Leanderssen could have bucked the trend here and got one over on his great rival and good buddy as well, it has to be said. This Weber Cup would have been all square.
Yeah, unfortunately only 2 strikes in the whole game for Thomas.
You're never going to beat Tim Mack with that. And fittingly enough, he doesn't finish with one either. Absolutely nothing going for Tomas Leanderssen in that match. The Battle of the Captains was a one-sided affair indeed. Tomas Leanderssen blown away with a score he probably can't quite believe himself. 180. Tim Mack wins it by 45 pins. And more importantly for his team, Team USA now have a 2-point advantage in this race to 18. They're halfway there. They're leading the Europeans 9-7.